This is a driving tip for all beginners who are now picking up the skill of driving. Now, one of the things you struggle with is steering control, which is basically is very normal. Once you get it, you know you are halfway into the driving. So just take a few notes from this particular illustration. Now, when you start learning how to drive, especially on a single carriageway, you would realize that turning right is always much sharper than turning left. So if you are somewhere here and then you are turning right, you realize that the road you are turning into is very close to you. So it makes your curve what? Very sharp. So it means that you have to start turning early and bend the steering wheel more just to turn this way without going into someone else's lane. If you are turning left, the curve is much wider, so you don't need to start turning early. Some people can decide to go forward a little and then what? You bend into your lane. Always remember that you have to maintain lane discipline anytime you are turning. Very good. Now, when it comes to maintaining lane discipline, this is also one of the things that you can also use to help you with your turns. Always remember, you bend into a lane. You don't enter the lane before you start to turn. I'll repeat that again. Always bend into a lane. Don't enter the lane before turning. So, for example, if you look at this T junction very well and you are here and you are turning to the right, always know that what? You don't enter the lane this way before what? Turning. Once you enter, you reduce the space and make the turning too sharp. So the probability of entering this lane is very high. So as you are approaching, you can also give yourself some space to the left side, and then what? You start bending from where you are, and then you join the road. If you are going left, just know that this is the left lane. So you don't necessarily have to start turning from here because it is far from you. You can get a bit closer, and then before you enter the lane itself, you start to bend. So you bend into the lane. You don't go straight into the lane before what? Forcing the car to turn. It makes the curve too sharp and too slow, and you struggle when you are returning the steering wheel. Now, this particular illustration only works when you are dealing with a small car. So for beginners in driving, you are mostly going to be driving saloon cars, and much smaller cars. Now, it doesn't apply to trucks and buses like this. So let me just do another illustration. Anytime you are turning into a lane, make sure you don't cut corners too much. For example, you are here. Now, when you are here and let's say you are turning left, your target is here. So you go forward a little and then what? Bend straight into it. So that if there's a car coming from here, they can also what? Turn without any interference. But sometimes some of you cut corners too much. You are not anywhere close to your intersection and then you cut in from here. Okay, you cut in from here. This is very dangerous because now you are occupying someone else's space and the person will not be able to go. So anytime you are driving, like I said, watch the lane carefully and then what? You get closer and then bend into the lane without what? Cutting corners this particular way. I see a lot of drivers do this and it's very bad. Now with the lane discipline, it doesn't really apply to trucks and buses because trucks and buses are very wide and some are very long. And for that matter, they need a lot of space to turn. So if there's a bus coming from here, don't expect that the bus can maintain lane discipline and turn and squeeze the car and turn in this space. It will not work. So sometimes they actually plead with those around them to move to the left side a bit before turning. Sometimes they even have to go all the way to the other lane and then bend into their lane. And for this one, it is perfectly understandable. It doesn't apply to new drivers who are driving saloon cars and even an experienced driver driving a saloon car. I hope you learned something from this. Bye for now. See you soon and adios.
But the work is done. It always will